Hello, and welcome to another edition of Ask the Professor, where we respond to your questions on political economy, which is, how the world really works and what's actually happened, history, economics, also culture, all those things that matter to us in our common life.
All right, here's a question from Perry about that visit from President Obama a little while ago. He came to Ottawa and in the House of Commons made a speech that was mostly boring, except for the part where he said that Canada was not really doing its full part. He didn't quite say it like that, but that's what it really meant. And his question, Perry's question, is what I really don't understand is why were all those Liberal MPs applauding wildly when he made that point? And he's asking, one would expect that the majority of the applause, obviously in the House, came from the Liberal MPs, since they do have a Liberal majority there. He said, does that mean that they agree that Canada is not doing enough to fight ISIS and other threats around the world? And if so, when did that happen?
Well, that's a wonderful question to which I think the answer will be somewhat less than wonderful, but with any luck it will at least be accurate. Because Obama used that catchphrase, the world needs more Canada. He yanked on the string and they all rose. Clap, 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 clap with it. And part of it's funny because I'm always told, Canada's not like the United States. Oh, not like this awful American. What could be worse than the Americanization of Canadian politics? Yay, Obama, oh, swoon. There's a certain inconsistency there. I can understand you might dislike certain tendencies in American politics, but for heaven's sakes, this is not a pop boy band concert, You need to be a little bit grown up here. And you need to connect your words to your thoughts, to your deeds. I have been complaining for some time. This is not just about the Liberals by any means, about the fact that these three do not link up. This was true under the Harper Tories. What they stood up and said in the House of Commons gave you no indication as to what they were going to do or what they actually thought they should do. It was completely separate things. So here you get Liberal MPs cheering Barack Obama's call for us to spend a lot more on the military, when it's not just that they don't intend to do it, it's that they're not, it's very postmodern. They don't even see the connection between the words you need to spend more on the military and the actual Canadian budget, or the fact that we can't go about doing this, that, and the other thing, including apparently the Prime Minister is very keen on some sort of mission to West Africa that will show that we're the Blue Berets and we're back and our compassion rules all. And yet instead we're having to send troops to the Baltic states because the Russians may be coming, trying to do a Ukraine on the Baltic states. Very plausible. And, we're scraping to send 400 or so members of the armed forces because we are so weak. And again, the Harper Tories did this. We were under 1% of GDP. They used to go on and on about the decade of darkness under Chrétien. You'd think that would mean they would spend more on the military, but it didn't. They actually spent less than he did as a share of our economy. And so, there too, they applaud wildly as people talk about the need to rebuild our military, and then they don't do it and feel very good about themselves. This total disconnect between words, deeds, and thoughts. But the Liberals just felt thrilled that Barack Obama liked us, which again is very childish. We say, oh no, we're an independent nation, we're fine, we can stand on our own 2 feet. What's that? Remember that Liberal MP who said, bleep Americans, I hate those bleeps? Mm-hmm. And yet there they are, getting the vapors, and again, for Barack Obama to be saying you need to spend more on the military. I mean, things must be getting pretty bad in the world thanks to the foreign policy disengagement of one B. Obama. And yet, as I say, there you get those MPs fatuously applauding something they not only have no intention of doing, but couldn't do because of budgetary realities of which they have no comprehension. That's how bad things are. It's just, this kind of like social media. You like things, you tweet them, and you feel like you've done something.
And that's all there is to it. There's no need to do anything else. You can't connect this with anything else. Just liking it is enough.
Yeah, and it's not even here today, gone tomorrow. It's here now, gone in 5 minutes. It's like a sort of Snapchat performance or something like that. It vanishes as soon as the cameras are gone. You got the selfie, you got the good feeling, and off you go to something else. But reality exists. So as Philip K. Dick said, reality is that which when you stop believing in it, it doesn't go away. And we do need to rebuild our armed forces, or we're going to find ourselves with very serious crises erupting around the world, kind of testing of Western resolve and finding it to be wanting, that will leave us wishing that we'd paid a whole lot more attention to what we were cheering for.
Isn't that what happened in the First War and the Second War? Every single time there's a big conflict, right before it, we're completely unprepared.
Yeah, there is very much a pattern.
Yeah.
Before World War II, and right before World War II, we had 6 tanks. We had soldiers practicing with guns going bang on maneuvers. That really is true. But at least there was a kind of fundamental solidity to the culture in those days that rendered the fatuity more superficial without making it, I think, a whole lot less annoying. I'm very concerned these days that there is no center, that the populace has become more and more like the more unpleasant surface manifestations of this inability to connect up different concepts or to make our words and our deeds have some kind of at least passing acquaintance with one another. So we shall see. But as Adam Smith said, there's a lot of ruin in a nation, so I don't want to get too carried away with the fact that the centre cannot hold. There probably is still a strong Canadian capacity to respond. We've just seen that the Chinese have just been told that their extensive claims in the West Pacific are absolutely without legal foundation. And people think, oh, well, that'll stop them. Hoo-ha, that'll stop them. And what are we prepared to do with our one rusty destroyer and our no supply ships and our Air Force that's on the verge of dropping from the sky onto the procurement mess in Ottawa?
Yeah.
We need more Canada. Barack Obama was right. But it has to be
once I
wearing boots,
agreed.
carrying rifles, and possessed of modern war-making equipment. Hooray, yay. I say it, and I think it, and I mean it.
And you would have applauded if you'd been in the House of Commons when he said that, because you actually were listening to his words and knew what he meant.
Yes, and then I would have voted for a doubling of the defense budget, at
very
least.
least.
A doubling of the defense budget, bare minimum. That wouldn't even get us to our promise to NATO. We should triple the defense budget. Probably we should quadruple it. But of course, to do that, we would have to cut tens of billions of dollars out of social programs that sap the vitality of the economy while undermining social cohesion. So that would actually be a good thing too. Yay.
All right. Well, thanks for that. Folks, if you would like to play along and ask your question of the professor, go to the URL on your screen and everything will be explained. Thanks and see you next time.